Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. And today we're going to start a new project. Now, this is going to be a little bit larger project, so you might want to get ready for that. I'm not sure if we're going to have a PDF for this or not. I'm going to try to make one, but we're going to see how it goes. Probably for the base, building the base, but not for papering it. That's kind of silly. So what we're going to do is first I want to show you the kit. The kit I'm going to be using is Shabby Spring by Vectoria Design. Now this is a little bit more expensive kit. In fact, it's a lot more expensive kit. So you can pick a different one. Obviously you could pick a different one anyway. It's your book. But if you want to do this one, I believe it's one of their mega packs. So that means it's going to be $29 for the kit. So if you don't get the bonuses, if you've ever gotten an email from Vectoria Designs, you know how that works. Anyway, so the only ones I've cut out is the cover and the back cover because I knew right away which ones I wanted. This is a beautiful kit. There's 24 pages, I believe, and close to that in ephemera, and I'll show you in just a second. But this is what I'm going to use for my cover. And then this is what I'm going to use for the back cover, which is the other half of the same page. All right. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the back cover. I might find something else that's completely covered. I believe there was another page in here that I might possibly use, but for right now, this is the back cover, so I've got them paper clipped together. All the other ones I haven't trimmed yet. There's so many, I'm not sure what I'm going to use and what I'm not going to use, and so I decided not to trim 24 pages and then cut 24 pages in half, just to decide what I was going to do. But I did have to print it out to show you, and I also had to print it out to see the papers, so I knew which ones I want to use. If you're able to look on the computer and see them and figure out which ones you want to use, good, because you won't have to print out all these. So like I said, it's a beautiful kit, and we're going to try to do it true to Shabby. I'm going to tell you the list in just a second. I really like this one. It's got lots of words. It's got pockets. We've got a lot of writing space for writing cards. And we're going to need at least 3, I believe, large ones. And so we've got quite a few of those. I was thinking about this one for the back cover, so I might still do that. But by request, by all the customers, they added in more writing pages. This would make a pretty back cover as well. So there's a few pages we may not use at all because they're printed in the center. But the pictures are gorgeous. And this one, is this the same? No. That's another possible cover for you. And it says Springtime of Love. So, I don't know. That might be another option for me. You can put something in here. It's up to you. And here's some more pages. I'm going to go through a little bit quicker. I love this one. There's one with a bunny on it that I really like. Here's one with, it's got kind of a French quality to it. And it's got pages that have the names of flowers on them. I know for sure there's one that says geraniums. So that'll be fun. And as you can see, they left a lot of the pages blank. Not blank, but you know what I mean. I printed this one out double because I just printed everything out again. Well, not again, but this one out again. I don't know what I'm saying this morning. It's kind of early. So it goes on, and it's a really pretty kit. Now, as far as the ephemera goes, wow, there's a lot of ephemera. A lot of ephemera. I like the fact that there's all these words. There's also numbers, and then there's a NO for number, and us and we, and all the words have these little pretty faux lace on them. There's lots of pockets and smaller cards. There's circles, and look, there's bunnies and more pockets and cards, fussy cuts, either belly bands or washi, and it goes on. This is another pocket, and it just, there's a whole page of fussy cuts again, and this is a envelope with more fussy cuts, more washi or border, more fussy cuts. You'll be able to decorate this for sure, no problem. Okay, and so that goes on and on as well, which I didn't mean to put them together, but I'll sort them out later again. Okay, now some of the things that you're going to need, I have absolutely no idea how many. It just depends on what we do when we get going. But we're definitely going to need some of these invitation sized cream colored envelopes. They are 4 3/8 by 5 3/4, and the ones I got on Amazon, the brand name is Desktop Publishing Supplies, and you can get them at their website too. I don't know if they're less than they are on Amazon. You just have to wait and see. You can go to their website and go to desktopsupplies.com/templates. They have tons of templates. So if you have cream colored manila paper and you don't mind making a bunch of envelopes, they do have a template for this envelope, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but there you go. Now we're going to be using a brown ink since it's going to be shabby. I've got gathered twigs set out. You might want to use vintage photo. I'm not sure if this isn't quite dark and shabby enough, then I'll go to vintage photo. We're going to need at least 3 manila folders for the base. Yes, I told you it's going to be a large project. And let's see what else we're going to need. Oh yeah, you're going to need the ephemera, cream cardstock. Oh, you're going to need some lace. So here's some white lace. And so far, that's all I have. Now, there may be other things as we come along. I'm sure there probably will be. However, this is what I've got so far as for what we need. Now, I did not make a proto for this. And we're going to do the envelopes a little bit different. Here's our cream colored paper, which is a little different. I bought some manila paper, but it's darker. If it was lighter, I could live with it, but it's darker. It's 40 something pounds, so that would have been nice for us instead of using 65. But in this particular case, I do like 65 the best, and I use Nina vellum finish. So you can find those links and everything below the videos for the materials that I use and such. So what I thought we would do, let me move all this stuff back over here. Definitely don't need it yet. What I thought we would do is try to make our base. Now our papers, a full sheet like this, oh goodness, like this, without the white border, is 10 3/4 by 8 1/4. So it's 10 3/4 wide by 8 1/4 high. So to cut them in half, once you trim them, you're going to cut them at 5 3/8, and then they'll already be the 8 1/4. So that means we need at least 10 3/4 inch wide for the manila folder, and then 8 1/4 tall. I'm thinking that we might go 8 1/2 just to give us that little bit of extra shabbiness. I'm really tempted this time to go with 8 1/4 and not make a border. I normally make a border, but I think this time we're going to try for no. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trim the tabs off. Oh, that's going to make our folders quite a bit shorter, isn't it? Let's see what happens. Let's do one. It makes a difference. Let's use center folders because they're taller when you cut the tab off, or they're bigger. I have a whole stock of them. I buy them 100 at a time on Amazon. If you get them at Office Max or whatever, they also have the logo on the inside. So I'm not sure if you can buy them without. So let's cut the tabs off and then see what we've got. Don't forget to switch to your cardboard blade, which is one blade back from your new blade. You can still cut cardboard with it, even though it started to cut fuzzy on your pages. On a side note, one of the best things I ever did was get the scoreboard blade or tool for this. It's much easier than using a scoreboard. It turns your trimmer into a scoreboard. Okay, so let's cut them off to the lowest one. Which should be just barely below this smaller side. Okay, save your tabs. You never know. I give you permission to throw these away. I don't know though, they might make good tabs, huh? So let's keep everything, every little thing, even with our papers, especially with our papers. All right, now let's see how wide we have. Well, we already know it's going to be 8 1/4 tall, so let's go ahead and do that part. Eight and a quarter. And whenever you're cutting, make sure that no matter what you do, you keep the you keep the fold. Okay, so now let's measure this little guy here and see what we've got. I really don't want to cut any of the edges of the papers because the way the borders are, it's just beautiful the way it is. So do we have, ooh, we're very close to 8 1/4. We're 8 5/8, just a little bit more. We're gonna need a little bit when we fold, so we're 8 1/8. So we can cut an 1/8 off each side, I think, and still be okay. Let's get the ones I've already cut in half. Where did they go? I lost them in amongst everything. Oh, for goodness sake. I know they're in here somewhere. All right, let's just trim one. Put your regular blade back in. You don't want to make it fuzzy. Now the thing is, when you buy this, it comes with another blade, but the other with a regular blade in a kit or in a little pack. But and it's not very expensive, less than $10. And this you'll use forever, even though the blade will get dull, and it's not a titanium blade. Whereas all the other ones I buy are titanium blades. Let's trim this real quick. I should have done at least one more, but I didn't. My hands are really cold this morning, and I've pinched a nerve in my neck. So, what's under there? And then we'll cut it and we'll see what's what. Because I'd like to just fold them in half. In fact, I am going to just fold them in half. If we have to, we'll trim the middle where all the green is. You know what I mean? And keep our outside edges. Okay. Let's cut this to 5 3/8. Yes. Okay. Now let's see where we're at. We should be able to cut the width anything we want. What's wrong with me? Okay, so we're going to fold it in half, back again, and cut it to 5 3/8 wide. What am I thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. Make sure your fold is on this side. So we're going to have 8 1/4 by 5 3/8. All three of them are going to be the same. Oh shoot, I used the wrong blade. Did you just see me do that? And we're going to do that to all three. So we're going to cut the tab off, or the tabs off. Then we're going to cut it to 5 3/8 wide. Oops. Remember, these are from the factory, so they may not be exactly, and that's part of the problem with using manila folders. Because this one looks crooked. And I'm measuring it from the fold, so it's not like I cut this end crooked and I'm measuring from it. Okay, and then we're going to make it 8 1/4 tall. That's number 2. They should be the same size. And they're not. That one that was a little crooked is still a little crooked. So let's set this one to the side. We'll use it for quote unquote other stuff, just in case. I want to make sure. I'm going to trim the... I'm getting ready to craft with a friend, so I'm going to end up probably putting you on hold, but that will be instantaneous for you because we'll just come right back. In fact, since gluing this together is going to, well, no. It's going to make this 5 3/8. This time I'm not going to look at the bottom. As long as it's straight at the top, 5 3/8. And then 8 1/4. Give us a few extra scraps. And then we'll have 3. And then there were 3. tabs off. Off with the tabs. What is the deal? And then we're going to make it 5 3/8. Oh, yes, you know what? We will end up pausing here because the next thing we're going to have to do is ink all of them. So instead of folding them in half, we're going to actually have what we need, which isn't exactly how I was going to do it. I was going to fold them in half because I wanted a bigger book. So I may have just done it wrong for what I wanted to do. I wanted to fold it in half and then trim the bottom for the height. Let's just see. I'm folding folders in half all the time anyway, so folding one in half is not going to hurt anything. I mean, we can always add another one. Let's measure. We fold one in half, and you got to make sure all of these line up, and it's not always exactly easy. You might be better off to score it and fold it on the score. Okay, now let's see how wide this is. Now you watch. Yes, this would have been plenty wide enough. All right, let me think about it. And let's go with this one for right now. It will be easier. And we can just add one more. So make a fourth one. Okay, I had gotten discouraged there for a moment, and I put you on hold and thought I was going to have to start the whole video over again because I didn't do what I was originally planning on doing, which is folding the folders in half to get pockets. But what I decided to do is just go ahead and make the book the way we started it. And so go ahead and cut the papers out, the folders out, I mean, the way we decided to do them, which is 5 3/8 by 8 1/4. And then make a fourth one. We're not going to do just 3, we're going to do 4. That'll give us a total of 8 pages and 3 pockets and the front and the back. So that should work out fine. The papers fit right up to the edge of the folder, which is something I normally don't do. You can leave a 1/4 of an inch around, and that will give you an 1/8 all the way around. I'm going to take a look at it and see. I don't want, when we hook the things over the edge, for them to show. So I may go back and make 4 at, let's see, 3/8, 4/8, 7/8. I may make them 5 7/8 by 8 1/2. Yeah, 8 1/2. Just so that we have a little bit of a border, so that when we start hooking things onto the pages. I really liked the idea of doing it like this, and maybe in some future project we'll do that, but I think I'm going to go back and rethink my idea of not having a border. So so the papers are 5 3/8 by 8 1/4. So just add a 1/4 inch. That'll give you an 1/8 all the way around, about that much all the way around. If you want a 16th, that's fine. But remember that some of the flaps we're going to put on are made out of manila folder. That was what gave me the second thought of not leaving a border. So let me give you a tip on when you ink your folders. I'm not going to do this one because I'm going to save it for a future project. But you're going to ink, you're going to have your dauber, you're going to do your ink, right? You're going to do your ink. Don't just go straight down and start inking, okay? Tap it once and then do your ink, and then you won't have that big circle where you start. And you're going to want to ink everything. You want to ink all the edges all the way around. You want to ink this, you want to ink this, and you want to ink these edges all the way around. You want to do your outside edges just a little bit farther in. It won't show once we put the papers on, but it will show where our pockets are. You know what I mean? You'll be able to see a little bit down into the pocket. And so you want to make sure that you have that inked far enough down. Okay, so in the next video, after we've got everything inked and I've got the new size cut, we'll put it together real quick, and then we'll get started. I'll have picked out some papers too. Okay, so I apologize for putting you on hold there for a second, but I thought that I had done it wrong, which I did do it wrong, quote unquote wrong for what I thought I was going to do originally. But now I think I want to save on the thickness and just make a little booklet and or a little book, and it's going to get kind of fat. So if you want to make some adjustments that way, then the problem is making a little gusset on either side. Then you'll have to add to the width and all that good stuff. And I wanted this to be an easy project because it's going to be a longer project. Okay, so as you can tell, I forgot to turn my light on, and these are spliced together. Hold on just one second. Alexa, turn on plug 1. Yes, my house is wired to Amazon. So did you get everything inked up? I hope so. What I did was I went ahead and inked up 3 envelopes. I have no idea how many we're going to use, but these are the 3 that I inked up, and I'm just going to set them to the side. I decided to go ahead and put this in the first video so that you had to watch it all the way to the end so you could see how to put it together. I'm kidding. It was just like I realized that putting this in the second video was kind of silly. So all we're going to do is we're just going to glue them together just like we were making a flip book, only we're going to do them together this way. Now you might notice these on here. Do you remember I told you that when you're inking that you should tap it off once and then ink? Well, that's what I was doing on here, just in case you guys wondered. No, this will not be seen. It's not any kind of special pattern. And yes, I made a mistake. So what we're going to do, make sure you've inked everything up. I inked the edges because I wasn't sure about top pockets, side pockets, whatever. Then I realized we're going to have to tie this together. So if you're planning on having side pockets, that's cool. That'll still work. Just remember you're going to need to put your tabs at the top to pull them out. Okay? If you decide to do top pockets, that's a little bit easier because you can almost make them into tags. Or not almost, but you can put your cards in as your writing cards in as tags. So, and then you can put some tag toppers on them, and then it will make your book look nicer, especially because this is going to be kind of a pretty book. So all we're going to do is we're going to get out our glue, and we're going to get our watch out of the way. I don't know what it is with this thing. I've got it. I've been wearing it on the same setting or the same watch band thing since I got it. And now all of a sudden it's decided to slide down my arm. I wish that meant I was on a diet. All right. So since I'm going to do mine on the top, then I want to glue these 3 sides, and I'm going to glue this one to this one. So apparently I did all this on the sides for nothing, but you definitely want to do the outsides because you're going to see them. Well, not really, but you know what I mean, before we put the lace on them. And depending on what kind of lace you use, then you're going to see them through it. So you might as well not have them manila folder colored, excuse me. Let's put some decent glue on here since we're putting our books together. These are construction gluings. Okay, so let's just flip this over onto here. Let's line them up. And then you're just going to continue doing that with the next two. You can alternate a side pocket and a top pocket. It doesn't matter. Let's see if I can get that a little bit better. Okay. And then, yeah, so now we're just going to go on to the next one. And I do almost want a side pocket. And I'll just put the tab a little bit above center. So this one, I'm only going to glue the top, the bottom, and this side. Okay? And that'll make us a side pocket. And that way it's in the middle. Kind of got a little bit of give room to it as far as our tie. Our tie won't be rubbing right up against. Okay, we're just going to do the same thing. And like I said, just like a flip book, only side to side. And since I made mistakes twice, okay, 3 times I made mistakes, I have this many scraps. So I'm keeping all my flips. Definitely keep these for pockets and things like that. All right, now we've got lots of ephemera for pockets in this kit. So it just depends on what we need. We're probably going to need belly bands and things like that. All right, let's do the last one. Let's make it a top pocket. And then we'll have it put together, and then we'll go on to video too. Oops, I almost made it too much right there. I want to keep the pocket nice and wide if I can. Okay, and just make sure that you're gluing them on the right way. Glue it on that way. Well, you could. In fact, if I thought about it, I probably would have put one that way so that it could open up both ways. But we're not going to do that in this one. It's a good idea. Probably will do it in one of my other videos. I always need tutorials. Okay, double check you're all lined up. Top, bottom, flush on the ends, flush on top, bottom sides. Okay, all right, so that's your book put together. We've got here and a top pocket and a top pocket. What did I do? See, I glued it upside down unless I'm looking the wrong way. Side pocket. Nope, I glued one upside down. So that's what I get for flipping them around. And it's definitely glued. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the bottom together, and then I won't have a pocket on this one. I'll just have the side pocket here and the top pocket in the back. Okay, that was my bad. I was talking and not paying attention. So if that happens to you, just glue the one together that's open the wrong way, like open to the bottom. and glue it together. You know, these things only happen when you're on camera. Oh, wait a minute. All right, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to re-glue it so I can have my top pocket. I want my top pocket. Okay? And then when we come back in video 2, hopefully I'll have my act together. All I'm going to do is take this glue off, whatever glue is left after I get this off with my dry wet wipe. Then I will use my glue eraser on it. And that's exactly what they're called, glue erasers, and you can get them on Amazon for, I don't know, $2 or something, and it's one of the best $2 you'll ever invest in. Okay? All right, so see, that's already pretty much dry. I don't want to take a chance, though. And I am, just so I don't look silly twice, going to mark this the top and this the top. Probably should have done that all the way through first. So I will see you in the next video, and that'll be video 2. And until then, have a great day. And the next video will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye.